Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here, as always, to dig into the source material and pull out those key insights for you. Today, we're stepping onto a pretty unique battlefield. It's the T-Legion TCG.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't your typical card game. It blends high fantasy dual elements, knights, dragons, relics, with actual golf fundamentals.
Yeah, it's fascinating how they've woven things like grip, stance, alignment right into the core rules, not just flavor text. And our job today is to really get into one of the most, intense factions in the game, the Flaming Dragons.
The fire guys.
Exactly. They are all about power, aggression, right off the tee. But understanding them means understanding the game's whole risk-reward system. It's pretty central.
Okay, before we get to the dragons themselves, let's map out this battlefield. It's based on a golf course, right? So what are the key zones we need to know?
Right. Two main areas define the action. First up, you've got the teeing ground.
Okay.
That's home base for your knight. Think of the knight as your commander, your strategic core. They manage the game's score, the GP, or game points.
The GP is like your health total then.
Pretty much, yeah. It's the knight's stamina, the overall score. Lose all your GP, and you're out. But, and this is important, the knight isn't usually the one doing the fighting. That's a big difference from a lot of other TCGs, you know?
Right, they're commanders, not frontline warriors, so they only attack if things get really bad.
Exactly. Only if their entire board of dragons gets wiped. It's like a last resort, desperation play. The actual hitting, the attacking, and defending happens elsewhere.
Okay, so where does the action happen?
That's the land zone. Picture the fairway, essentially. But it's divided into slots based on distance.
Ah, like club selection, different distances, different slots.
Precisely, and that's where the dragons line up. Every dragon card has a YDS value printed on it that's yards.
Okay.
That YDS number determines exactly which land slot that dragon must go into. You can't just stick a long-range dragon in a short-range slot.
So if you draw like a big powerhouse dragon that needs 280 yards or more...
It has to go in the dedicated driver slot. No hiding. That distance identity is key.
Gotcha. And that brings us to the stats. How do these dragons actually fight? What defines them?
There are 4 core stats you got to track. They create this balance between, offense and defense.
Right.
First, we mentioned GP, game points.
Yeah.
That's the knight's health, the overall score you're trying to protect or trying to reduce on your opponent's side. Then for the attacking part, there's HD, hit damage.
Hit damage. That sounds like the important one for Flamewings.
Oh, absolutely. It's the raw power of their strike, how hard they hit. Crucial for these guys.
And defense.
That's DG, Dragon Guard. Think of it as toughness or resilience, how much damage a dragon can take before it's knocked out. HD is the swing, DG is the armor, basically.
Makes sense. HD, DG, GP, and the last one was YDS.
Yeah, YDS yards. We talk about it for placement, locking dragons into slots. But it's more than just placement. It's also a stat that can change during the game.
How does that work?
Well, imagine your Flamewing is sitting pretty in that 280 plus YDS driver slot. But then your opponent plays, say, a weather effect relic that reduces its YDS.
Okay.
If that YDS value drops below the minimum needed for its current slot, say it drops to 250 YDS.
Does it move?
No, this is the tricky part. It stays in the driver slot, but it becomes exhausted.
Exhausted, so it just sits there.
Yep. Can't attack. It's like he's choked on the shot because the conditions changed. You lose tempo. You either have to spend resources or time getting its YDS back up, or it's just stuck.
Wow, okay, so YDS isn't just setup, it's an ongoing vulnerability.
Exactly. It really forces you to respect that positional play, that club discipline.
All right, that makes sense framework-wise. Now let's talk factions. You mentioned 5 elemental groups.
Yeah, 5 dragon factions, and the way they link element, golf club, and even a phase of the golf swing is really clever design.
Okay, lay them out for us.
First, you have the Stonebacks, Earth Dragons. They're linked to irons and grip phase, that solid foundation.
So defensive.
Very much so. High DG, consistent, great in the mid-range. They're your reliable par 4 specialist built for endurance.
Okay, Stonebacks. Who's next?
Then, the Storm Scales, Lightning Dragons. Their club is the hybrid, and they represent the takeaway, that quick initial movement.
Fast, then.
Super fast, lots of combo potential, speed, and they're good at, nullifying hazards, keeping the momentum going. Unpredictable.
Interesting. And after lightning?
We get the Tide Wings, water or ice dragons, associated with putters and the impact phase.
Putters, so precision, finishers.
Exactly. Short game masters. They use tempo tricks, control hazards, focus on that perfect, precise strike, the freezing effects, stuff like that. Very subtle.
Okay, irons, hybrids, putters. What about the really rare ones?
Yeah, the ether mains. Cosmic Dragons. They use legendary clubs and embody the follow-through. These are the complex, high-risk, high-reward ones.
Legendary clubs follow through. You mentioned synchron strikes in the source material. What's that about?
Right, synchron strikes are their unique mechanic. It's all about timing. Ether beings don't just activate on their turn usually. They play cards with delayed effects, or effects that trigger only when a specific sequence happens.
Like what?
Like, maybe after your opponent plays 2 defensive relics, or after 3 dragons from different YDS slots of attack. It requires real planning, synergy with the knight. It mirrors that long, complex arc of a good follow-through.
Fascinating, complex stuff. But today
Today is all about the 5th faction. The Flamewings, Fire Dragons, their club, the driver, their swing phase, the stance.
Yeah, they scrub you set up for power. And the driver, the ultimate power club.
Exactly, it's fundamental. The stance is where you commit. You decide on power, on trajectory before you even swing. Flamewings embody that raw, primal urge to just smash the ball as hard and far as possible. Pure power play.
Okay, let's dive into that fiery core. If they're tied to the stance, what's their actual philosophy in the game? What drives a Flamewing player?
Aggression, pure and simple, and a high tolerance for risk. There are these 2 sayings associated with them. Power's the first law of the T.
Okay, direct.
And the other one, a bit more dramatic, swing with fire or do not swing at all. That sums up their whole all-or-nothing approach.
All or nothing sounds intense. How does that actually work mechanically? How do they force that style?
Well, they constantly make trades. They trade accuracy, they trade defense, they trade stamina, all for more HD, more hit damage. They use huge attack buffs to create massive GP swings against the opponent's knight.
So they're aiming straight for the knight's health pool.
Pretty much ignoring everything else if they can. They are the designated offense faction. Their main goal is what the game calls the cut victory, just zeroing out the enemy knight's GP as fast as possible.
Which means stacking that HD stat above all else makes them unbalanced, right? Statistically.
Totally unbalanced. By design, they have, on average, the highest HED values in the game. We're talking maybe a top-tier Flamewing having 300 HD combined with the 200 plus YDS needed for that driver slot. Huge threat to the knight.
But there has to be a catch.
Oh yeah. The catch is their low DG Dragon Guard. That's the trade-off.
Right, the glass cannon, you mentioned that earlier.
The absolute definition of it. That same 300 HD monster might only have like 80 DG.
Ouch. Compared to a stoneback.
A specialized stoneback might have, say, 150 HD, but 250 DG. So the Flamewing hits way harder, but 1 or 2 solid counterattacks, poof, gone.
So that low DG makes them incredibly volatile. Win fast or lose hard.
Exactly. You have to overwhelm the opponent before they can exploit that weakness. Total collapse is always just around the corner.
And this power focus naturally links them to the longest holes in golf, the par 5s.
Yeah, they're considered the P5 closers. Par 5s demand distance, right? You usually pull out the driver.
Yeah.
Flamewings sit in that D1W driver slot, the 280 plus YDS one. They are built to dominate those long challenges. It's why pressure that other factions just can't match from that distance.
And the stance connection, it's not just about power commitment, it affects stability too.
Definitely. Think about a golf stance built purely for power. It's inherently less stable, isn't it? More prone to errors, hooks, slices.
Sure.
That translates directly. Flaming cards, the powerful ones, often come with built-in accuracy risks. Or they force you into riskier shot shape rolls. You're sacrificing that foundational accuracy for the chance at massive power.
And the visuals match this, you said.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful chaos. Their main colors are fire red, blazing orange, and scarlet scales, wings edged with embers.
Molten driver heads.
Molten driver heads, yeah. Dripping fire. They look like they're running red hot, constantly on the verge of exploding. It's pure aggression made visual.
Okay, this focus on power and instability, it has to tie into the game's core risk mechanics, right? The dice rolls, strike rolls, shot shape rolls. Flamewings must be playing with fire there, literally.
They live and die by those rolls. The game uses the shot shape roll to simulate what happens when you swing hard. You know, sometimes it goes straight, sometimes not so much.
Right, so rolls 1, 2, 3 are generally okay. Straight, draw, fade.
Yeah, those are usually safe. Maybe give you a small bonus, like a bit more HD or DG. But Flamewings, they're often looking at the other side of the die.
The danger zone, rolls 4, 5, and 6. The hazards, these seem designed to punish exactly what Flamewings do.
They're the balance, yeah. Roll a 4, that's the hook.
The big curve.
Big curve, exactly. Mechanically, it gives you a huge distance boost, like plus 150 YDS, which Flamewings often love.
Yeah.
But it comes with a steep next 100 GG penalty. You're wide open, and you have to make a hazard check might end up in the bunker.
So high risk, high reward, even on the hook. Get distance, lose defense.
Exactly. They might even want the hook sometimes. But it's an invitation for the opponent to take them out.
Okay, what about roll 5?
Roll 5 is the slice.
Yeah.
The opposite problem. Weak hit. You lose distance, maybe -100 YDS, which could trigger that exhaustion rule we talked about.
Right, if they drop below their slot minimum.
Yep. And you also lose power, max 100 HD, plus a hazard check, possibly landing you in the rough. A slice is just devastating for a Flamewing. It kills their whole purpose, distance, and damage.
Well, wait, the source notes say Flamewings use burn effects and actually sacrifice hazards for power. How does that work if hazards come from bad rolls?
Ah, okay. So while the rolls put you in hazards, some flaming abilities actually benefit from being there. They have cards that say things like, if this dragon is in a hazard, but not water or OB, gain plus 100 HD.
So they want to be in the rough or the bunker sometimes?
Yeah, because those hazards might give a small penalty, but the Flamewing card turns that disadvantage into more power. They ride that dangerous edge, they use the risk as fuel, it's very thematic.
Okay, that makes sense. But then, there's roll 6. The absolute worst outcome, the shank.
Ah, the shank. Roll 6. That's the game saying, whoa, too much power, buddy. It's a catastrophic failure. You immediately lose a negative sum of YDS.
Which almost guarantees exhaustion for a driver slot dragon.
Almost certainly. But the real killer is the mandatory hazard check that comes with it. And for a shank, it usually points towards the worst hazards.
Like the water hazard. Why is water so bad, especially for these guys?
The water hazard is just brutal. It hits you multiple ways. First, it often deals direct damage to your knight, maybe negative 50 GP right off the bat. That hurts.
Okay.
Then, tempo loss. Your dragon is stuck. To even try and get it out on your next turn, you usually have to discard cards from your hand, like sacrifice 3 cards just for the attempt. For a Flamewing deck that wants to play fast and aggressive, landing in water is a potential game ender.
And worse than water.
If the shank roll specifically says so, or if you fail a check in certain situations, you end up in OB Seal.
Out of bounds.
And OB Seal means gone. Permanently removed from the game. Think of it as the discard pile you can never get anything back from. If your star Flaming, your big 300 HD P5 closer, gets shanked into the OB Seal, that's it. It's gone forever.
Wow. So their entire strategy constantly flirts with that ultimate disaster.
Constantly. That's the price of their power. That low DG won't save them from a shank sending them out of bounds. It's pure volatility.
Okay, so they're powerful but incredibly fragile. They must need serious backup from their knight, right? Which Knight Legion actually supports this crazy high-risk style?
There's a perfect match, both thematically and mechanically. The Warrior Knight Legion.
Warrior Knights. Makes sense. All about combat.
Exactly. Their whole identity is built around brute force. They focus on high HD, dealing direct GP damage, GP attrition, and giving attack boost to their dragons. They love the aggressive push.
So how do they specifically help the Flamewings?
They have commands tailored for it, like maybe a full swing command that lets a Flamewing attack twice in one turn, but then slaps it with a -100 DG penalty afterwards, leaning into the risk, you see.
Yeah, doubling down on the glass cannon idea.
Or they might have an attrition strike command that gives, say, plus 50 HD, specifically to dragons in the driver slot. The Warrior Knight isn't about mitigating the danger. They're about enabling the Flamewing's power, hoping to win before the risk catches up.
And their symbol, their sigil, reflects this too.
Perfectly. It's a cross driver and sword over a rising sun, directly linking the Knight's military might with the Flamewing's favorite club. The message is clear.
Hit hard, hit far.
Pretty much. The Warrior Knight strategy is, forget defense for now, maximize HD, push hard, wear down their GP. It's all about GP attrition, trying to secure that quick-cut victory before the opponent stabilizes and picks off the fragile Flamewings.
So clear the path and then just hammer the opposing knight.
That's the plan, a real rushdown approach. Can the opponent weather the initial storm? That's the question.
Understanding that aggression naturally leads to thinking about relics, the tools they use. If they're pure offense, they must have really clear preferences, right? And things they definitely avoid.
Absolutely. Their relic choices are laser-focused on boosting HD and YDS. Anything that gives raw power or distance, they're interested. Anything else? Probably not. We should quickly touch on the 3 main relic types to see why.
Okay, let's start with gear relics. What are those?
Gear relics are basically equipment, physical items you attach to a dragon or its club. They stick around on the field, providing usually persistent stat boosts.
Persistent power. Sounds good for Flamewings.
It is. And crucially, the sources say gear relics don't mess with GP. They don't cost GP, they don't boost GP. This fits the Flaming philosophy power now. Worry about the knight's health later, maybe.
Got an example of a flaming-friendly gear relic?
Sure, something like a Flaming driver head, a gear card that says maybe plus 150 HD if this dragon is in the driver slot. Huge boost.
Wow.
But to keep it thematic, it might also have a downside, like whenever this dragon makes a safe shot shaped roll, 1, 2, or 3, force a hazard check anyway. So it gives power, but injects risk even into safe situations, leans into the chaos.
Okay, so gear gives steady, risky power. What's the other type they like? Technique relics.
Right, techniques are different. They're not persistent equipment. They're instant effects. One-shot, tactical moves for clutch moments. Think of them as special maneuvers.
So for a quick burst of power.
Exactly. Maximize HD or YDS right when you need it. But here's the twist. Techniques often use GP as a cost, like taking a penalty stroke to pull off something dramatic.
Wait, why would a Flamewing player who wants to win fast spend their knight's GP on a technique? Isn't that counterintuitive?
It seems like it. But techniques are also the only way to pull off certain high-stakes plays, especially hazard retrieval.
Ah, getting your dragon out of the water hazard or something.
Precisely. Remember how bad water is. If your best Flamewing, your P5 closer, ends up sunk, a technique relic might be your only hope.
So you'd play something like Desperate Recovery Shot.
Yeah, something like that. Miracle Recovery Gambit. It might cost you, say, 20 GP up front, a big hit to the knight. Then you make a high-risk roll, succeed. Your dragon is back, maybe even gets a YDS boost. Fail. Fail the roll on one of these high-risk retrieval techniques. The rule often says the dragon goes straight to the OB seal. Gone forever.
Good grief. So techniques are the ultimate gamble for them, risking total loss for immediate recovery.
Exactly. It's the poker move.
Yeah.
All in. Very Flamewing.
Okay, so gear for persistent power, techniques for high-risk gambles. What do they actively avoid? Which relic type just doesn't fit?
They steer clear of anything focused on stability or damage mitigation. That means they generally ignore caddy relics.
Caddy relics, like advice, support.
Yeah, think of them as tools for guidance, support, managing the game. Mechanically, they focus heavily on boosting DG, Dragon Guard, or protecting the knight's GP.
To making things safer.
Exactly. A caddy relic might give your knight a temporary shield, absorbing some GP damage. Or it might passively buff the DG of nearby dragons. It's all about smoothing out variance, playing the long game, surviving.
Which is the total opposite of the Flaming plan.
Completely counter. The Flaming player wants variance. They want high stakes. They don't want to spend resources on DG buffs for their already low DG dragons. They want to end the game now. Stability just slows them down, wastes resources from their perspective.
And this brings us back to that contrast with the Stonebacks, right? The Earth Dragons.
Perfect contrast. Stonebacks love caddy relics. High DG, endurance, winning through attrition. Caddies fit their plan perfectly. They want that 10-turn grind. Flamewings want a 3-turn knockout. Different worlds.
Okay, this has been a fantastic deep dive. So, Flamewings, Fire Dragons, tied to drivers, locked into that 280 plus YDS slot, all about trading their own defense, their DG for massive HD, aiming for that quick cut victory.
Yep, they really are the embodiment of that aggressive golf swing philosophy. Power over precision, distance over safety. Every choice they make, from embracing hazards with burn effects to using those risky GP costing techniques, it all feeds into that all or nothing mindset. Always one shank away from disaster, potentially the OB seal.
They really capture that high risk, high reward feel of smashing a driver. But you mentioned the risk comes from the stance, the foundation. If they represent that pure power drive, does that mean they also embody a fundamental flaw in that approach?
Well, the source material suggests dragons often manifest these inner demons of the golf swing, right? If the Flaming is all about the stance, that absolute commitment to maximum power, what happens when that commitment goes too far? What breaks down?
So here's our final thought for you to chew on. If the Flamewing embodies that hyper-aggressive stance, that relentless pursuit of power before the swing even starts, what's the underlying swing fault their recklessness represents? Is it the inability to blend power with control, maybe a failure in weight shift? What fundamental flaw in that power-focused foundation leads to the catastrophic shank, the one that sends their greatest strength into the irretrievable OB seal? What fails when power has no limit?
It's the ultimate cost of that unrestrained power, right? Something to ponder out there on the tee box.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.